All right. I had an opportunity to watch Girl Meets Upstate twice. I had an opportunity to watch it on demand, and I saw it again on television. Now, the first time that I actually did see Girl Meets Upstate, I wasn't happy. I was ranting and raving and screaming at my screen. Thought it was the worst thing in the world. But after watching it a second time, there's a lot of things that just kind of came into light. Now, there's still like the cons, in my opinion. The stuff that I don't like about it is somewhat the same. The stuff I do like about it is a lot more noticed now, because before I was just raged. So I'm happy I actually did watch it a second time. Now, I guess I go into the cons first and just get those out the way. The one thing that bothers me about this whole thing is the fact that everybody keeps saying that there's something wrong with Maya, but there never is. She's just evolving. The same thing with Sean, but now Sean thought he was broken because he was changed. He thought he was changing into Corey, just like how Maya thought she was changing into Riley, even though they were just evolving. And I hated the fact that people were just saying that there was something wrong with them when they were just evolving out of a good influence. Number two, I did not like the ending whatsoever. The ending was extraordinarily rushed, and I felt that it just wasn't right. But after seeing it again, it's gonna be a little more beneath the eye. But I'm gonna actually go into a little bit more perspective before I get into some of the pros of this whole thing. And when it comes to this, it's like the one thing that kind of bugged me the most is that I was thinking, oh, it's too soon. What are you doing? Why are you acting like this? It doesn't make no sense. I didn't really sound that dramatic, but other than that, time is actually moving on. Like, time is pressing on forward. They don't exactly tell you what month it is, what's going on. They don't tell you exactly the specific point in time where they are, but it looks like the time has moved forward. For example, when it came to the fact that when Sean and Katie first dated, this was around Girl Meets Hurricane, and that's when he actually asked Katie out. Well, I think Katie asked him out. They did have their first date, because on the show, you're going to see on the side that he actually has a picture of their first date. But something happened, Sean ran away, and they really didn't connect after all that time. So it must have been more than a year. This is just my theory. I believe that they probably had dated a few times, but somehow Sean lost touch and he kind of just ran away and backed off from the world, hence why he lives in upstate New York. Now, when it comes to the girls, the point in time when Maya actually started to change was that point during Girl Meets Hurricane, when she finally saw it. I guess for her, when Sean and her mom met, and then when Angela came along, she still had hope throughout that whole thing, even though Riley was losing hers. That was the moment that she had hope. That goes to my number three con. I didn't like the fact that something as special as the first time that she had hope had to be sold away because it looks too much like Riley. And in my opinion, every single last farthing of clothing that she wore was similar, but not the same. They were different colors, different designs, maybe the same style, but different colors and designs. And I know there's going to be a story down the line to where they're going to have to, weigh that whole thing out. I get that. But it was not the same. Plus, it was special to her because she saw him more as a dad than anything else. And that also was a point to where Sean actually did something for someone else other than himself. He bought clothes for a girl he barely knew. Now, I find that absolutely amazing. The fact that Katie was calm throughout the whole time lets me know that they probably have been seeing each other a little bit longer, but somehow he kept his distance. There was probably a handful of times where they had dates, but it wasn't consistent. And he kept his distance throughout the whole time, hence why she was calm. Why would you be in love with someone who is like living all the way halfway across the state and you barely talk to him? How can you be in love for an entire year and never hear from him? Something's telling me that it's a possibility that they probably did stay in touch throughout that whole time. These are just theories here. No, nothing proved. I'm just going by my own speculation. Now, when it comes to the pros, I love the fact that you had some great interaction between Sean and Maya. They are so much alike, it is ridiculous. They are like father and daughter, even without being father and daughter. And seeing how he was openly admitted how This is not Corey. This is me. Just looking at you makes me feel like I can be a really good dad. He outright said that with no pressure at all. And that was the most touching moment I have ever seen. And it really broke my heart. I mean, it had my heart just was like so just huge. I was so happy for Maya. I was. And Maya was just about to cry. I think that was a great moment for her. And it was a great moment for her to hear that, because that was the one thing that she's lacking. Hence why she was so rebellious for so long. She wanted everything that Riley had. Which leads me to something I find really interesting. Why? Okay, you have two best friends. Both like, and I understand now what the thunder and lightning means. Of course, thunder is a warning before lightning hits. Thunder is actually the warning, the sound, while lightning is the action. It kind of reversed here. But the thing is, I find it kind of funny how Riley is saying that she is acting more like, that Maya is acting more like her, when I'm seeing traces of Maya coming out. Like the old Maya coming out. The old young Sean, or the old young, the old young Sean and the young Maya is coming out of Riley. And the fact that she literally, well, in a way, it was kind of like in a Riley way. I mean, the fact that they so-called run away from home, even though that Corey knew exactly where she was going, she's still acting like Maya, but she's still Riley on the inside. She's going to always be Riley. And I actually thought that was pretty clever, the way that they actually did plan that out. I thought that was pretty clever. This is a very huge self-discovery episode, which leads to the other episode, at least the episode that's coming up next. Now, I'm not going to try to jump ahead of myself. But when it comes to this, I love the fact they had so much nostalgia in this. Not only the nostalgia from the pilot of the show, you had nostalgia from Boy Meets World when the two were talking about, I just want to be like you. So you think I'm cool? Say, no. Do you think I'm, and he was like, oh, no, you're not cool at all. They said, well, who am I then? You're Corey. I'm Sean. What is there else to say? And I absolutely love that. I loved it when they went back to the episodes when they were small, because it's a similar situation of what the girls are going through now, except the fact they didn't beat up on each other, at least not yet. Well, they did with paint in a way, but other than that, it was so much nostalgia. I loved it. And Sean was just funny. I mean, he tripped me out, but Corey was funnier, because Corey was like, you're not me. I would not wear that. Like, I just rolled. That was so funny. But the one big bummer of them all, what I really won't say is a bummer, but I kind of understand why they did it now, that you literally hyped up this love triangle for nearly 2 seasons, only for them to take a hiatus on it. Like, instead of having a big payoff at the very end to see how these couples will work together, and in the end, of course, he said that he chose, well, he didn't really say anything. Maya kind of chose for him. But other than that, there was really no definitive conclusion. The girls decided to take a step back and kind of leave Lucas hanging. But in a way, it'll give Lucas the realization of who he really likes. Maybe he'll come to a realization who Maya really likes and who Riley really, well, we all know who Riley really likes. But other than that, the thing of it is that there's going to be some huge revelations going on. And for the next episode, Girl Meets True Maya, yeah, this chick is going to vandalize stuff. Like, she's going to literally become the old Sean, because everybody's expecting her to be the old Sean in a way. So they're going to get what they wish, and it's not going to be pretty, at least not for Maya. But I'm going to say this, I don't hate this episode as much as I did before. Even though I have a lot of cons, okay, maybe 4 cons that I have of this episode, mainly because of the fact when someone evolves and they're evolved by a good influence, it doesn't mean that they're exactly like them. But this is a discovery that the girls have to discover on their own. Even though us as an audience can actually see this happening, and we know that there's nothing wrong with Maya, this is something that she has to find out as a character. The same exact thing with Riley. Riley has to have self-discovery with herself. Instead of looking at herself through Maya's eyes, she has to look at through her own eyes as well. This is self-discovery for all of the main 6. I guess you can probably include Smackle in there. But other than that, well, I guess it's still the main 6, but including Smackle. But other than that, this is going to be a huge role for them. And as for time, we know that they have a very small amount of episodes, which means they're going to probably have one more season before they cap it all off. So they're not going to be they're not going to let you know exactly what time it is, like month, year, or day it is. They're just going to let time pass by and let you assume as an audience what time they're really at this point, because I think time has actually flowed forward. I really do believe that it's probably been maybe a year or two, probably more about a year since because they were in middle school when Katie asked Sean out. So more than likely, it's probably been maybe a year, possibly a year and a half for them. So maybe time moved on. To us, it's going to seem extremely quick. I'm like, what is this? We didn't even see their first date. And I guess I really gave too much away. But there's something going to be really huge going on with Sean as well as with Katie. This is something that's going to be huge. And I'm going to let you know, at the very end, when that situation happened, someone did not look happy. I mean, someone looked like they were petrified, that they were absolutely scared not to hurt anyone, and they knew exactly what they wanted to say, but they didn't want to hurt anyone when they said that. I don't want to go too much into detail because I don't want to spoil it too much for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but I'm just going to say this. Someone is scared out of their mind of the decision that they made, and they wish they could take it back, but they can't. That is just how I saw the very ending happen. How everybody else was happy, but no one else, well, one person was not. And I'm going to let you guys find out who that person is. But other than that, guys, I talked too long here. It's at 11 minutes, so I'm just going to cut it short. My overall thoughts of this episode is this. I do not hate it anymore after watching it a second time. It was actually very cleverly done. And the way they actually incorporated nostalgia fits so well. And this episode of self-discovery is what Boy Meets World was all about. But it's not so much limited to one boy. Because let's put it this way. I have a whole bunch of theories how this whole thing's going to end. If they don't get picked up by another station. The one thing I'm going to say is this. At Boy Meets World, it was one boy that had the happy ending. One boy that had the most growth. I really do believe that it's going to change here. There's going to be 2 individuals that's going to have the most growth. Actually, there's going to be 6 individuals with the most growth. Probably double that. This is going to be a show where everybody grows up, including the adults. It's not just going to be the kids. This is going to be amazing. And I honestly am going in with open eyes and a fresh view when it comes to this. Because I'm glad I watched it the second time. I don't hate it as much, but it shows how genius the writers really are. And I suggest you guys to actually watch Girl Meets Upstate. Because I think that the season finale is going to be Girl Meets Ski Lodge. And then after that is going to be the 4th and final season. Because I think they only have maybe 21, 27 episodes that they're actually supposed to have out. So they're going to have season 4, and I think season 4 is going to be the last on Disney. It might get picked up by another station, but at this point, I don't know. But I think Girl Meets Ski Lodge is going to be the last episode for the season. I could be wrong. It might be Girl Meets I Do, and in my opinion, it is going to be Girl Meets Ski Lodge 1, 2, and 3. Maybe it'll just be like the really big one like they did with Girl Meets Texas. I don't know. But other than that, guys, if you have any thoughts or any insider information about Girl Meets World, I am all ears. Leave it in the comments below. I am curious to hear what you guys think about this episode because I am happy that I went in with fresh eyes. But other than that, guys, I am done. I will see you later. Peace out.